Okay, so I am going to make a quick review on division. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to start and we're going to take a look at some division problems where the dividend is a multiple of 10. So if we look here, we have 800 divided by 4. Okay, so 800 divided by 4, how am I going to go about this? Okay, first thing I want to look at is I want to look at my basic fact. So my basic fact here is 8 divided by 4. So what is 8 divided by 4? Okay, we know that 8 divided by 4 equals 2. So if 8 divided by 4 equals 2, 8 hundredths divided by 4 would be 200. I'm going to bring those zeros over into my quotient. Or I can do 800 divided by 4. I still can do the long division way. 4, can 4 go into 8? It can. How many times? 2 times. 4 times 2 is 8. 0. I bring down the 0. 4 goes into 0 times. Bring down the next 0 times. So I also get 200 that way. Okay? So you need to know your basic fact here, and you can solve a question like this. Let me give another example. Okay? Let's say we had 1,800 divided by 6. Okay, so now I'm looking at this and I'm saying, all right, let me pretend the zeros aren't there because I have 1,800. When I say pretend the zeros aren't there, what I'm really saying is I have 18 divided by 6. I have 18 hundredths divided by 6. So if I have just 18 hundredths, okay, 18, what is 18 divided by 6? Well, 18 divided by 6 is, or how many times can 6 go into 18? 3 times. But now don't forget these two zeros because it was really 18 hundredths divided by 6, which would give us 3 hundredths. So it's 1800 divided by 6 equals 300. 300. All right? So now you're going to get a bunch of problems just like this. Okay? All right. So you can practice this on your own with a bunch of other problems. So you could say 1,500, okay, divided by 3 equals what? Or 2,700 divided by 9, okay? Or 36, let's change it, 360 divided by 4, right? Any of those problems, okay? And that is going to be the first part of your quiz. So let's, practice with that. So if I had to go across here, 15 divided by 3 is 5, but it's 500 because it was 1,500. 2,700 divided by 9. 27 divided by 9 equals 3, but it's 2,700, so your answer is 300. Now, 360 divided by 4. Our basic fact is 36 divided by 4. What is 36 divided by 4 is 9, but that's 36. Now, 1 0 means it's tens. 36 tens is 360. So now I'm just going to bring over 1 0, which would be 90. So it would be 9 tens. 36, 360 divided by 4 is 90. Okay? So that's the first part. Now you're going to have to use what we've learned. Oh, apologize there. What we've learned for long division. Now I have a bunch of videos on long division. Okay, so you can go over and watch any of those. All right, and when it comes to long division, I can come up with any problem. Okay, off the top of my head as some practice. So if I'm going to make one up. I'm going to write it out here. 6,425, and I'm going to divide it by, let's divide it by 5. Okay? First thing I want to do is I'm going to put my checklist, divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. Make that checklist on the side. I'm going to rewrite the division problem where the dividend is inside the division house. So I'm going to put over here, I'm going to hope I have enough room, 6,425. Now, hopefully you notice this problem that I came up with, the ones place has a 5. So we know that this dividend must be a multiple of 5 because it ends in 5. So if we do it correct, you should not have a remainder. So I'm going to go here. 5 can go into 6. How many times without going over? 1. Divide. 5 times 1 is 5. I'm going to subtract. Oh, I multiplied and subtract. I get 1. Bring down the 4. Okay, now I'm going to start over from the beginning. 5 goes into 14. How many times without going over? 2. 5 times 2 is 10. Divided. I've multiplied. Let me subtract. 4. Bring down, because there's another digit. 42. Let me start over. 5 can go into 42. How many times without going over? 5 times. It can go into it 8 times. Divide. 5 times 8 is 40. We multiplied. Let's subtract and get 2. Good. Bring down. I'm bringing down the 5. Now start over. 5 goes into 25 5 times. 5 times 5 is 25. I've divided. I multiplied. I subtracted. You get 0. I can't fit the 0, but there's nothing to bring down. So your answer is 1,285. Okay, so that is an example of how to do long division. Okay, so you will need to do a long division problem. Okay, now you're going to get word problems. Okay, now the word problem you do need to mark up. Okay, and you really need to think the word problem through. Okay. To solve it. So I'm going to come up with one right here. Let's say that Eddie, all right, Eddie and his 3 friends, okay, Eddie and his 3 friends found a bag of pennies. Okay? All right. So they found a bag of pennies. There were, okay, I'm going to say, there were, let's say, 413 pennies. Okay, there were 413 pennies, which they shared equally. Now, once you see the shared equally, that should let off, a big clue that you are dividing. how many pennies, ready? How many pennies did each person get? Did each person get? Okay, so how many pennies did each person get? Well, we mark it up. It was Eddie and his 3 friends. So how many people were there? There were 4. Eddie and his 3 friends. They found a bag of pennies that had 413 pennies, which they shared equally. And then our question is, how many pennies did each person get? Well, here we're dividing. So we are dividing the 413 pennies divided by 4 people. All right, let's see how many pennies did each person get. 4 can go into 4 one time without going over. We divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. 4 times 1 is 4. Okay, subtract, we get 0. Bring down 1. 4 can't go into 1, so I put 0. Multiply, 4 times 0 is 0. Subtract, we get 1. Divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. Bring down the 3. 4 goes into 3. How many times without going over? 3 times. You're going to subtract, the 12. 13 minus 12. That gives us a remainder of 1. So now, your answer is 103 pennies, remainder 1. How many pennies did each person get? Each person got 103 pennies. There was 1 penny left over. But if I don't have enough pennies to give to each person, that penny is going to stay off to the side. I cannot give it to each person. So it would be 103 pennies. Okay, so you will get some problems like this, all right? They may ask you, how many pennies were left over. If this said how many pennies were left over, you would do the same steps, and you would say, I have a remainder of 1, so it's 1 penny left over. That would have been your answer. Okay. Now, multiples, okay? So you have to know that if you get a number, so let's say you get the number 28, and you say the number 28 is a multiple of which numbers, okay? And I put here 2, 3, 5, and 7, let's say. You're going to say, all right, 28 is a multiple of, if I count by 2s, will I get to 28? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Oh, yep, 28's an even number. So 28 is a multiple of 2. Because if I count by 2s, I will get to 28. Now 3. Is 28 a multiple of 3? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30. No, 28 is not a multiple of 3. Now look at 5. Is 28 a multiple of 5? I automatically know it's not, because if I count by 5s, the multiples have to end in a 5 or a 0. And 28 ends in an 8. So that's wrong. And now is 28 a multiple of 7? These are hard. So now I'm going to count by 7s. I may write it on my scrap paper. Oh, it is. So my answers would be 2 and 7. Okay? And then don't forget what a factor is. Okay? So if you get factors of a number and the number is 12 and you need to list the factors are the numbers that you multiply together to get that number. So I'd start with my automatics, 1 and 12, because 1 times 12 is 12. So those are my first 2 factors. Then I'm going to try 2, all right? 2 times 6. So 2 times 6 gives me 12. Those are my factors so far. Let me try 3. 3 times what will give me 12? Does it? 3 times 4. 3 times 4 gives me 12. I'll try 5. 5 times, nope. 5 times, you can't multiply 5 times anything to get 12. And then you're at 6. So these would be my factors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 12. All right, that's just a quick review going over your quiz on Friday on long division.